Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Modern Market, where every day we discuss all things to do with the market. That is the crypto market, the NFT market, and any asset which is achieving an all-time high. We talk about assets which achieve all-time highs. That's the kind of market we are interested in. Exciting day today. We're talking about Bitcoin being up 6% to $118,000. ETH is up 7% as well, not to an all-time high yet, but we will discuss if that is the direction it's going. It's past 3,000. In other news, Pump Fund acquires wallet tracker Kolscan. That token pumped to 20 mil before before a retrace to 4 mil. And Coinbase partners with Perplexity to help traders access real-time trusted crypto data and information. We will be spending the majority of time probably discussing all-time highs, thought processes here, majors versus alts, and how we are thinking about those, as well as getting you the main information, as always, that you need to know. I'm delighted to say I've got Legendary and Bread in the co-host seats with me. We are just about to get into it. But just a reminder before we do, nothing that we say here is financial advice because, again, despite everything going up, this is insanely risky and we don't know anything for sure, although we hope it continues to go up. So please proceed with caution and exercise your own judgment at all times. With that out of the way, Legendary, it's Friday. It's the 11th of July. How are you doing?
GM, I'm feeling a bit stressed on this Friday because I'm looking
at
it's
always stressful when the market's up so much, right?
No, it's a different thing. So ETH is exactly at $3,000.73. And I don't want it to dump to 2.999K when you do the roundup and then you say it's a 2.9K. I want to hear you say it's a 3K asset. So this is what makes me a bit anxious looking at the charts.
There's no rounding. Just I will read the number as it is presented to me. There's no fun and games there. It's just I'm going to give you the facts. I'm not helping anyone out up or down. So that's the way it's going to be. Bread, how you doing, my man? Doing well?
I am. If you can't see it on the stream, I was in bed 3 minutes ago.
You can. There's a difference in the facial texture.
Yeah, texture. I feel like beat up still. But we're doing it. We're making it. It's Friday. It's 4 a.m. and we're rocking. The market's cool. I actually made my first I'll say sizable Bitcoin purchase yesterday. So you're welcome, everyone.
Very nice.
I that was my pump. You guys didn't know I was this loaded, but I did it.
Is this guy we've seen 1 billion in inflows in the BTC tips yesterday? That was
correct. 1 billion in inflows. To be real though, like what I'm starting to do is through my hood market analysis, I actually found like the Robinhood apps is pretty fucking slick. And I'm like, I have been stockpiling cash, not intentionally. It's just like every now and then I sweep like what I've been building up in like just like through salary, like basically like my salary for Mega ETH. I've been stockpiling that stuff. I hadn't sweeped it into like putting it into a market position for a while. So that I got enlarged and I was like, okay, I moved my options from my old Schwab account to my Robinhood account. I started sweeping some of my cash that I had just been stockpiling as like kind of a little bit of a safety net just into Robinhood to make this like my official thing, especially since it's the thing that actually is, after I looked, it's actually one of the better platforms for getting into IPOs IPOs.
Interesting.
So I was like, okay, I'm moving most of my cash there. I bought ETFs instead of the instead of Bitcoin straight because like the fees are actually not awesome still to buy crypto through Robinhood. I think it's still like a 1% fee on that. So I just bought some like the HODL from Van Eck, which is a feeless ETF sitting on it. And that's just going to be my cash reserve. I don't want to be just like in cash. So Bitcoin is my cash for a little bit. And if an IPO comes along, then, we're going to take our shot at it.
I like it. I like the thinking of taking the shots at the IPOs. And I just like it. Well, I mean, I definitely like the idea of getting out of cash. We've been talking about that for a long while at the moment on the show. And in addition, I just like the idea of having these other apps out. Like, look, we are super crypto native. We like doing all that stuff. But I think there are opportunities on the stocks. Ledge, I just missed the comment that's making you chuckle. What did I miss?
Why does Legendary look like Mr. Beast? First time I've heard that.
I mean, Yeah, not wrong. I mean, maybe it's because your facial hair is a little grown.
Mm.
I think maybe that's probably it.
Need to
Let's
go
get a
back
side by
to
side. Let's get a side by
I can
side
see
here.
it.
Maybe I
But
can
don't-
see it. It's not now that you're going to say it. I can see it.
Yeah.
Can I hide behind my mic?
Let me. All right. While I do the roundup, maybe let's get a side by side. See how that looks. Okay. What else was I going to say? All right. We've got a bunch of really important things to talk about. Obviously, all-time high, but the more important conversation is allocations. How are we thinking about things? Bitcoin's moving so fast. Is everything else going to move as well? And the stock question is the one I specifically want to talk about. Ledge and I were just talking beforehand on the show about Coin making a really nice move. Coin's
Yup.
doing
Hood was step for step. They're both like 4.4%. Like
so
they're
those
lockstep
things
right now.
seem to be moving step in step. But I want to propose a move that I want to make because I just checked my stock account. I barely even look at it. But yeah, I think I'm like all in on Coin, to be honest. I want to propose a move, and so I'm going to do that in a little bit. But let's get to the market stuff first to get you up to speed with all the things that you need to know. Starting with the majors, as always, we have Bitcoin up 6% in the last 24 hours. Bread pushing up the price aggressively to $118,000. You've got ETH up almost 8% to 3,000 United States dollars. That is a much better asset than it was 1 week ago. That's up 18% on the week, whereas Bitcoin's up 8% on the week. XRP's up 8% too, to $2.60. BNB's up a couple of percent to 689. Solana's up 5% to 164, kind of trailing the rest. Well, certainly trailing ETH a little bit at the moment. Our favorite alternative major cryptocurrencies, Hyperliquid, is up almost
Cardano 15%.
Cardano.
Thank you for mentioning that. B check. Yes, our
20
favorite.
25% on the week. Cardano is outperforming both ETH and Hyperliquid.
Yes.
Sorry, I missed that one. Our alternative favorite to our alternative favorite cryptocurrencies, Cardano is outperforming all. So that's where you should have
Cardano's
been
up
positioned.
85% on the year. Holy shit! I had no idea.
Yeah,
Oh.
26% on the week as well.
Look at that.
Hyperliquid is up 10% to $45. That's new all-time high, I believe. So that's up 18% on the week. So this is the
Up to
thing I've always
45.
put.
Is that all-time highs? What's all-time highs for?
Yeah, this is the all-time high. I think it was 44, 45
see it.
before. So it's just like just edged past it. This is
Love
the
to see
thing
it.
I'm kind of saying, guys. Like I believe ETH can really go on a run here. Even when it's going on the run, it's just like, okay, well, Hyperliquid is just in step with you for that move. So
And fat bottom girl, man. Like ETH needs so much to move, right? Like it's a heavy girl. She's what, 400 bill, 350 bill,
I haven't heard this analogy before, but yeah,
360 bill. Fat
Yeah.
bottom girl. It's gonna take. It takes more to move. So like, I mean, you're starting to see it, right? We have the we have the inflows from Tom Lee,
Yes.
Tom Lee, and a lot of these ETFs. So like, you need that kind of movement, but like, you need a lot of appetite for this thing to double, right, relative to everything else. So
Let me just show you something on that, by the way, because the ETF stuff, I always check in every now and again to see. First and foremost, I don't know if this is literally an all-time high because I haven't gone back and looked at the numbers, but I'm guessing it almost certainly is 1.18 billion yesterday into Bitcoin. Like, and just for people's context, because that number is probably meaningless in the absence of knowing what else the numbers are. 9th of July was 215, 8th of July was 80. Then before that, you had days of 216, 601, 407, 100, 500, 226, 500, 588. So that's huge. And I guess that to me makes some sense of where the price move was coming from. Of course, there's probably other buyers as well, but that's pretty colossal. And then for you mentioning ETH, Bread. ETH is like really, really doing well compared to, before how it was going. Last 2 days, it's had 383 and 211. Whereas before that, it was 46, 62, 148, 40, 31, 77, 60, 70, 100. So like big multiple up on the ETH side
Can I
too.
put this in perspective real quick? Because
Yes, please.
I have another view prepared, which is this one. Look at the chart here. You'll see the total Ethereum spot ETF net inflow. And this is the candle we've seen yesterday,
Just explain what you're seeing here, Ledge, for the people who are just listening in.
138,000 ETH of net inflows into the ETH ETFs yesterday. And this is like by far the highest day of inflows. Like the second highest one would have been there with, it's hard to get this thing, 106K. So this is 106K ETH at 2.8K. So this is by far the highest net inflow we've ever seen in the ETH ETFs.
Interesting. Yeah. So actually, I mean,
like 400 mil would be a good day for BTC. We were like, I mean, obviously yesterday had 1 billion, but otherwise we would be like 400 mil is a solid day for BTC. And ETH was like, you scroll down at 40, 30 mil, 77 mil. This day yesterday was insane for both BTC and the ETH ETFs.
Yeah, I agree. So the ETF, it's just good to keep an eye on that all the time. I know we did when they first came out, and then they kind of, you know, when flows were a little bit lackluster, people stopped looking at it, I think. But it's good to keep an eye out, I think, on there, because that's just revealed a huge amount. It's actually
relative,
to do,
right? Like
say again?
Yeah, it's all relative, right? So, you know, 380 mil of inflows relative to a 3.6 bill or 360 bill asset, right? What's the ratio there? Roughly 10% or whatever versus, you know, how, I don't even know what Bitcoin's at these days. Bitcoin was like a $3 trillion asset. What's the market cap of Bitcoin?
2 something.
2 trillion.
2 something, I think.
Yeah. So
2.3.
2.3, yeah. Yeah, you're right. The context is all important there. And it's to do with these ETFs and ETH ETFs in particular that I want to propose or make a little proposal once I finish with the roundup. But first, let's bring Funky into the conversation. Funky, your hand is raised. We appreciate you and thank you for your big Bitcoin energy yesterday. The gold chain brought us to a new all-time high. First question, are you wearing it again?
I am not wearing the chain. Actually, I'm not home right now. And Drew is asking for more videos with the chain. So I'm going to have to make some content with the chain. But I did want to say this was also interesting in the context of this conversation about where Bitcoin apparently surpassed Amazon. Okay. So in terms of like the global market cap rankings, that's what I just wanted to chime in with. Apple's next, and that's at like 3.2 trillion.
Yeah. I feel like Bitcoin's no, it wouldn't have. I can't remember whether it's been past these or not. But yeah, there's that really nice chart where you can see Bitcoin kind of eating into all of these much bigger traditional companies, just kind of climbing the ranks as it kind of chases down gold, I guess, because obviously gold is number one. So yeah, nice additional piece of context. Let me just continue with the round to get you up to speed. So the majors are doing nicely, but actually to point out as well, you said Hype is at all-time high, up 18% on the week. Sui is also up 9% on the day and 20% on the week. So Sui and Cardano are the majors that you would probably like the most at the moment. And the meme coin side of things, everything is green. Like things are really, really running. Doge is up 10%, Pepe is up 14, Trump is up 10, Bonk's up 6, SPX up 6, Fartcoin up 14. I actually got rid of my Fartcoin today because I kind of want to go into something else. Feel the need to get into something else. Pengu up 6, but it's had big moves before, right? So that's up 30% on the week. And a lot of coins are kind of looking like that now. Mog is up 27%, up 69% on the week.
Yeah, exactly. Almost 70% on the week.
Bro, this feels like a heavy risk on move. Like that Bitcoin all-time high, everything is just pumping.
Yeah. So this is absolutely, this is what you live for, right? Like hopefully, actually interesting. Useless is down 12%. I've noticed this sometimes at the moment. Like if something's doing really, really well and outperforming when everything else is not, when everything else catches up, it's not necessarily the thing that goes, at least on the meme side. Because even something like, which we do have positions in, and it's actually doing well today, Rect is up 7%. I've noticed that like when the market, because that's been doing so well in general, and then when the market catches up, sometimes it just kind of cools off at that point in time and then goes again after. Go on. Did you want to come in?
Yeah, just like psychologically, I think that makes sense, right? Like if you're someone you've been ripping when everything else has been on a downtrend, like, okay, now everything is pumping, like sell my winner because like it was doing okay. And then like, I want to go buy awesome shit. That's the thing that I have the most P&L on. And I'm going to capture some of that, rotate it into these other things. And then everything else starts ripping. So I think that makes sense.
Agree. I think the psychology adds up there. Okay, getting into the headlines and then the roundup before I pose my trading question. Bitcoin's up 6%, new all-time highs, 118k, ETH's at 3k. Pump Fund has acquired a wallet tracker, Kolscan. Token spikes to 20 mil before retrace to 4 mil. We'll touch on that sale again, given that it's coming tomorrow. So final reflections here before the sale, if people are choosing to participate or not. And then finally, Coinbase partners with Perplexity to help traders access real-time trusted crypto data and information. Relevant, I think, and important because Perplexity is really big on the AI side of things. So that is interesting. Ledge, anything to note on the NFT side? I can see one big Beeple sale here, but anything else?
Yeah, got some commentary on this Beeple politics is bullshit sale, which went through for 60 ETH. To my knowledge, actually, that was in Gondi, and the owner was borrowing against that, and then did the sale, repaid the loan, which is pretty cool because just shows you can borrow against your NFT, use that capital product in a productive way, and still be in the market to sell off said NFT. In terms of the majors, nothing really noteworthy for Pudgy Penguins, Bored Apes. They are both down another 0.7 to 1.8%. Azukis have seen a little move up again, 1.74 up 7%, but still down 10% on the week. I think the more noteworthy thing is that punks are holding up extremely well, given how much Bitcoin is moving, and that they are sitting at let me get the current price in. Where is it? At a 43.45 ETH floor. That is 129k, and that is more than one Bitcoin.
Yeah, very nice to point that out. I think punks had dipped down to as low as 90, I think, recently. And obviously when ETH is super strong, they just it does hold to some extent. It's not like people you give up the gains. NFTs here look maybe they might dip a little bit, but it does seem like the 40 ETH region is where punks want to kind of sit, irrespective of the dollar amount. So yeah, back above a Bitcoin. Congrats to punks holders there. Getting into the rest of the roundup to get people up to speed. I do notice this in general. This is actually something that happens all the time, both on the news side and actually on the work side. Like, we're having conversations with various people at the moment for various things. We're doing a rebrand. We're, talking about partnerships. And we're also, I do the research for the news every single day. When Bitcoin goes to all-time high or when stuff starts to move, people are just not announcing things. There's like a vacuum of news because people don't want to compete with everyone getting too excited.
You're not announcing, or you're not noticing it because you're so excited?
No. I'm looking everywhere. But okay. People don't want to put their announcement out when everyone is just checking their portfolio every 5 seconds to see how high it's gone. Like every other post is Bitcoin all-time high or hype all-time high or whatever. Insert meme coin is going great. You need to buy more and whatever. So people are just not really concentrating. And also on the work side, like, things are coming through slower.
It's harder to work. Is that what you're saying? Because you're also checking your portfolio.
Yeah, communication has slowed down. Let's put it like that, which is interesting. But but having said that, I do think, a quick point before the rest of the stuff. Now getting in position from the professional side, I think is so important. That's why I'm so happy that we started the work to do the rebrand weeks ago, and we're like really, really in the process now. We're going to be good either from August or September to roll the whole thing out. And hopefully by then, I don't know what price we're going to be in by then, but people will be back at their desks by September, ready to really go at it for Q3. And we will be ready to participate in that on a number of fronts, from the partnership front, from the rebrand front, and all of this stuff. So, to the extent that you're not only, watching the charts, get in position now professionally, I think, because it's going to be the time from Q3 onwards. It's already the time, frankly, but if you can't do it now, then at least get in position for the next set, is my opinion. All right. So getting to the roundup where there was less stuff, Bitcoin ETF saw $1.18 billion of inflows. I already mentioned that. Pengu is now listed on Hyperliquid. So when I said that I sold some Fartcoin, I'm kind of thinking of getting into Pengu on Hyperliquid specifically. First tier 1 listing for Hype announced, Bybit. It's a little bit of speculation that's going to cause like a bit, it's not going to cause it, but you know, more exchanges are going to need to list Hyperliquid at some point now. Because up to this point, no one has. So this is the first one. Coinbase announces launch of Pump pre-market. The reason I thought that was interesting because I want to check its volume versus the Hyperliquid pre-market ledge. I think it actually went live last night. So I don't know if you're able to find it. I've always find it difficult to navigate the Coinbase.
Oh no, Coinbase, I haven't. Yeah, I've been watching. I was going to ask if you guys have been playing the early one. I was thinking about just a touch of leverage and doing it with the intention of basically getting liquidated, because I feel like the only way to actually learn these lessons is if you lose money on them. So I want to try to like analyze this thing. I've been looking at Pump. Like I have a position and thought on like what Pump should do or like what it is. So like I want to just like a touch of leverage just to like get my daddy's first liquidation in, and then like learn the lessons, get attacked or something. I don't know, have some fun.
So we will come to answer that specific question because we've got a section on Pump today. Okay. So we'll come back to that and talk about our thoughts on pre-market price, playing it with leverage versus just, I don't know, entering the pre-sale or doing whatever after. So we'll have a whole segment on that in a bit. More news. Telegram founder shares that the Snoop Dogg's Telegram collection sold $12 million worth of NFTs. Pretty exciting, pretty impressive. These Telegram stickers movement is getting pretty lucrative.
It's continuously shown, like, because like Sappy Seagulls did it, Pengu did it, Claynosaurus did it, like, and everyone's like, we covered it one day, right? We had the dashboard pulled up of like seeing how much money a lot of these teams are generating. I feel like this is something that just like, like one of those things that we keep noticing, but we haven't moved on, and then we're going to keep noticing it. It's going to keep happening, and I think it like this is finally the signal for me to like maybe I should try to pay attention and like familiarize myself, because I still haven't like gone through the process. I feel like I should go through the process to truly understand it.
Yeah, I like it. I really like this from a business perspective because I think loads of people have moved over to Telegram recently. We are actually building a Telegram. Like that's where our next version of our chat will be. And so I think this is cool. Like I think people like the stickers. It's just a way better chat. Although there's more stuff going on because a lot of people like Telegram can be a bit of a mess sometimes now because it gets so busy. But I think there's an opportunity to build something kind of interesting there. So I'm always keeping an eye out on like the interesting commercial ways that you can bring stuff to market in that arena. And that was it, guys, because as I said, most people were just talking about things being at all-time high. So a little bit of a contracted snapshot today for that reason. So the thing I want to come to you with, because I'm conscious of time, we've got some big important stuff to talk about.
One quick thing, because you asked the question on Coinbase and the trading volume for Pump.
Yes, please.
Both of you have a guess.
So tell me what the Hyperliquid one is first, though, because that's done
94
like
mil.
100 mil.
94 mil.
Okay, so
on
what?
Pump.
So Coinbase, Hyperliquid.
I'll say 10 mil, 15 mil on Coinbase.
E?
5
mil or K or
dollars?
Dollars. 5 mil?
5 mil.
186K.
Oh, damn! I should have said $5.
Does it have OI on there?
Say it again.
Does it have the OI? There's 88 million open interest.
100K in open interest.
Yeesh.
I mean, it's almost 101K to be honest.
Okay, and this opened about 12 hours ago, I think.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I missed the Pump announcement on Hype. So I missed when that actually came to market. I guess I could just look at the thing. It says like, what is this? 22 on the 9th. So 2 days. Okay. Yeah, give it some chance. Give it a time, right? Like let it get some momentum.
Interesting.
But yeah, that's fat.
Right. So the main activity is clearly taking place on Hyperliquid then. We'll circle back to that in that specific segment, talk about our thoughts. Before we get there, 2 things. First, the trade that I'm proposing, we just talked about stocks. You know, we're obviously very, very crypto native, but we think that there's a significant opportunity in the stock so far. Legendary has been speaking about that, talked about the circle trade, nailed that, spoken about some of these treasury companies coming to market and then behaving very much in the same way that meme coins do in some way. And we think that's probably going to continue, whether you buy them right at the beginning, before or during the IPO, and then sell after, or even once they've, you know, these announcements happen. They seem to trend up and then crash, and then I don't know. Just trying to make sense of that market at the moment. My question was, Coinbase is at all-time high. Brett already said it's kind of in lockstep with Robinhood, both performing exceptionally well. I kind of like, I don't know, you might need to talk me down from a ledge here, but I kind of want to get rid of coin to go more levered into crypto with one of these like ETH treasury companies. So people know I've been quite vocal that I don't hold a lot of ETH anymore, because I sold it and went into Bitcoin and hype earlier in the year, / some stables and doing other things. But I do think, like, I've always believed in ETH as an asset. Well, as an asset, it's had its troubles, but as the technology, I think it's excellent, and I think that there's always been a narrative which makes sense for it. And I think it will do well along with the other things now. Like, I don't think it's going to do terribly. It's not going to go back down to 2,000 whilst everything else rips. Like, it's going to go up. And so the thing that I'm interested in is this new Wall Street narrative that has emerged in two directions. One, via SBET, which is SharpLink Gaming, which is kind of attached to Joe Lubin, consensus, raised a ton of money to buy ETH specifically, and the Tom Lee fund, which is what's the name? I'm gonna have to Google it.
But the other one, right?
The other one. So two routes here, and the question for you, Legendary first, and then Bread: should I sell my coin to go for SBET or Tom Lee's one to get this kind of what I believe to be like more levered crypto ETH exposure, and something that could move up a bit more violently as everything else moves up? If we, you know, obviously the assumption is everything's going to move up here. Ledge, what are your thoughts?
I keep these bags separate. Like, if I want more leveraged exposure to ETH, I'd probably just buy leveraged ETH on Hype. But I do have my crypto stock trading bag, which has been rotating from Circle to Coinbase into Hood, out of Coinbase, out of Hood and back into Coinbase now. And that's basically, it's a very, it's not the most sophisticated way how I trade it. I just go all in with that bag in one stock and sell when I'm up, like, I don't know, 10-15%.
That's what I would do as well, because I don't have a lot in this stock account, and I'm just going to treat it like a thing that can go to zero if I need it to.
Bitmine.
I want to all in it on something.
But I'm also curious, after we hear from Brett, to hear from Matthew, who hasn't been with us in a long time, but I saw him sending thumbs downs, and I was like, yeah, we have to get him up on stage to get his take on that.
Well, Matt, we're not going all in on XRP, if that's what you're going to say, but maybe we can.
You can a little bit of XRP, that's okay. But I love the idea about the sort of ETH companies. I think that one of the challenges that we face is that you're paying a pretty high premium for a pretty like unknown outcome. And I think that that's really dangerous. I love what Ledge is saying, like, just go levered ETH if you're trying to get an ETH exposure.
Yeah, so this is the thing though, right? Like, all of my, like, so, you know, this is more like portfolio planning side of things. You have your crypto portfolio, and as Ledge said as well, okay, well, you've got this kind of stock portfolio that you play with separately. My crypto portfolio, I don't need ETH. Like, that's just my decision at the moment. I don't need it. I've looked at the chart today. Everyone is celebrating ETH at 3K. Wonderful. Hype is up more. So I'm winning that trade in a sense. I still think ETH is great. I think it's awesome. But like, the fastest horse has been Hype and is Hype currently, and my bet is that it's going to continue, I think. So I'm kind of comfortable with the crypto specific portfolio the way that it is. And so I'm wondering, do I take the other thing and be more degenerate, basically?
Why
Those
are you
are
choosing
fine.
Ethereum?
Because I like it. I like this story coming out of Wall Street now about ETH.
So you
Like
just
it.
want to make sure you have exposure to it, because like
Yeah, but I
you're
don't
talking,
want to use my crypto holdings because I think other
but you
stuff's
have. So I asked that because you have like Hype D on the stock market, right? That's a treasury company specifically for hyperliquid. So if you're having that analysis of like ETH,
I don't think that's going to
hyperliquid,
Wall Street though.
what?
I don't think Hype D is going to go to Wall Street.
Oh, you don't think someone will talk about it like to the same degree?
No, Bitcoin and ETH. I think for those people, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Matthew, you wanted to come back in.
Something like, yeah, you could look at something like maybe Galaxy Digital, or like y'all had talked about previously, keeping some of that cash ready for IPOs that come. Like you think Kraken, Anchorage, like a bunch of these companies are going to start IPOing here in the fall, and like those are probably going to pop much the same way some of these other ones have pretty recently, like Circle, for example. So I mean, that could be a degenerate play like you're kind of looking for. Probably the challenge is you don't know when it's going to happen, so you'd be leaving money on the sidelines and you wouldn't necessarily know. So I think that's another consideration.
Appreciate the insight, Matthew. Well, everyone's response here has been far too responsible. I think maybe I said stock portfolio, and maybe my persona presents that I would be responsible with this part of my portfolio. I like I don't need it to be on sidelines. I'll just sell it
You also
if I need to.
you also have options. Like you could take out options on the ETFs, right? Like, which is effectively the same thing as just taking lever on it or leverage on it.
So
Indeed.
expensive, though. So expensive.
Yeah, it's true.
Potentially more expensive. Overarch in the comments saying, okay, someone's wants to make the bet with me. Saying be either SBET or BMNR. That's the one. Bitminer is Tom Lee's fund. But recognizing maybe Joe Lubin from Consensus maybe a bit more native. So I don't really know the answer to this. eBrink coming with some wise advice, probably don't sell winners for losers. Coinbase holds a lot of ETH. That is true. Coinbase is one of the largest holders of ETH and is doing beautifully. And maybe it's a bit greedy going further down the risk curve.
Just got added to the S&P 500. Like it's now starting to break out. Like
correct. All
like
these things are correct.
That was the thesis on it, right? Like when we were talking about this thing a year ago, it was that like it is a kind of an index bet on broadly ETH, but like the ecosystem, like and it's like showing to be true, right?
There's a very interesting clip from Tom Lee. I think it was from yesterday, where the interview on CNBC was asking, "Oh, so you've got these certain shares, but allegedly on like this market cap, but actually you've issued all these other shares. So really, the market cap is way higher. That's like way too much." And just like watching his reaction was, I think, was very much in the way that I'm sure people are accused in crypto of saying like, right, so this is your token. Like, why is it trading at this valuation? Like, this is insane. It doesn't make any sense. And he was like, he tried to justify why it might be the case that something could trade at such a premium, as Matthew was kind of just talking about. Like, it is not a value play in a way that makes sense. But my question is not, I guess the game I'm playing in this specific type of bet is not, oh, this is a value play, is undervalued on any traditional metrics. This is, are people going to pump this from $18 to 55 or 100 in the next 3 months as people just get a bit crazy for the summer into the end of the year?
While you were speaking, I grabbed my phone and bought 10K of SBET to see how that does. Little degenerate play during the show.
Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I think you're directionally correct. I think Ethereum has been so beaten down for the last 6 months, year and a half at this point that like I think it is a strong momentum candidate right now. Where like it's just like it's starting to have a lot of catalysts that stack up. Like it probably catches a bid just for that nature alone. I still like mentioning at the start of like how heavy it is. Like you're going to need a lot to get like a good amount of movement. And like if I still don't think it's fundamentally better than like the ratio of a market cap to current price, or market cap to like revenue generation of like a hyperliquid, a pump fund, maybe even like a Kaido. So like yeah, I'm still sticking to the things that are actually doing things. I don't think Ethereum has the right narrative for it beyond like this whole stablecoin thing, which is a good narrative, but like it's not true. Like it's frankly not true the way that people are trying to describe it, the way Tom Lee's trying to describe it. Any of us that see it, we go, this dude is ridiculous. That makes no goddamn sense. Doesn't matter. but it like that's how we think. So like eventually that veil is gonna go away. People are gonna realize, oh, if I want stablecoin exposure, I can buy Circle. If I want stablecoin exposure, I can buy maybe even Tron whenever it IPOs here in a few months, because it actually is like capturing 70% of stablecoin transfer volume, as opposed to Ethereum, which captures no fees for the utilization of the actual underlying stablecoins that people are wanting exposure to. So like eventually that veneer comes off, but I think it'll take a while for that to happen.
Okay, interesting perspective. I don't mind the argument that you got to secure the network where all the stuff is kind of
right, but that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Like for anyone in the industry, that doesn't make any goddamn sense. Like that's not how you make money. That's not how you accrue value. We don't know how much that's worth. You can't price that thing.
Defense spending, you don't make money off it. You got to spend to protect.
Yeah, you're asking a market that's seeking profit to do defense spending.
Yes. Let's see. Funky, your hand is raised. Give us a concluding take on this before we move on.
Yeah, real quick, while we're talking about stable coins in relation to equities and traditional, if you guys didn't read the last Hayes essay, he makes a very good point about if you really want stable coin exposure, because Circle obviously is giving up half the NIM to Coinbase.
Yep.
He says the big banks, the too big to fail banks, like you could get into those equities because the Genius Bill was effectively written by the banks. This is why Circle's now issuing, and Ripple, they're trying to become banks, because the only ones who can really issue the stable coins at any kind of scale are the banks. And he makes an argument that they're the ones who are going to be the biggest recipient for all the stable coin money to be made. So investing in JP Morgan, again, not financial advice, whatever, but just read the Hayes essay, because he talks about how the big banks are probably going to be the ones who stand to benefit the most. So if you're thinking about allocating in your traditional equity portfolio, might be something worth considering.
Interesting. Okay. Good discussion.
How bad are those girls? That's where my question goes. I like it's all relative numbers. So like I want to have a piece of the thing that is going to capture the largest portion of the pie relative to their actual current valuation. So it's like banks, like probably are a good thing, but like probably super fucking fat. I would imagine they're pretty heavily at the top of S&P 500. So how much relative move can you actually expect from something like that relative to like something that is emerging in the market, and like it can actually get like a pure crypto shine instead of like these 4 layers of separation, like, oh, we're going to benefit things.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting stuff. I'm glad we had that discussion, because it feels like we got a bit of some divergent opinions there, and that's kind of helpful. I like how this new stock Bitcoin / ETH treasury thing is kind of shaking it up a bit. People are trying to figure it out a little bit. And so it gives us something extra to talk about. Appreciate.
I just looked 13 in the top 100.
What's that?
13 banks in the top 100 of the S&P.
Oh,
so like they're already pretty fat. JP Morgan, Bank of America, Citigroup top 10, Wells Fargo, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley, US Bank Corp top 50, and then you start getting some other ones. Charles Schwab at whatever 73.
Interesting. Okay, good stuff. We like that conversation. Remember, we've got more conversation to come on all-time highs, thoughts on allocations as a consequence of that, and we'll be talking pump fun and hopefully getting an opportunity to touch on Coinbase, though we are running a little bit out of time. Before we get there, though, we do need to touch in with our Polkadot explorations, which Legendary is going to take us through at the moment. Shout out to our partners at Polkadot. Ledger, what do we need to know today? What's going on this week?
June has been a big month for Polkadot. We spent the last weeks covering yield opportunities on Hydration, the flagship DeFi protocol, but a lot of things have happened around the Polkadot ecosystem. So instead of focusing on one protocol specifically today, I want to give you a Polkadot-specific Web3 roundup. First of all, Ethereum-compatible smart contracts are live on Kusama, which is Polkadot's sister network. However, they are not powered by EVM, but by Polkadot's own Polka VM. The team did rebuild the virtual machine from the ground up to make it more efficient and natively cross-chain. Talking about EVM, Moonbeam Network completed their asset migration successfully. That means that all Polkadot native assets on Moonbeam are now true ERC20s. Polkadot also launched a new staking dashboard, which shows impressive stats. A bit more than half of the dot supply is staked and earning an average yield of 12% across 240 active pools. And moving on to the creator side, Nova Wallet, which we covered in the past, partnered with Blast TV to power blockchain-backed esports like the Counter-Strike Blast TV Austin Major 2025. And another cool thing about Nova Wallet is that they finally launched their Polkadot debit cards powered by MasterCard in June. The card is currently available in the European Economic Area, so a rare win for Europeans in this space. And that's it from the Roundup. Thank you to Polkadot for sponsoring this segment, and stay tuned for more Polkadot explorations.
I like it. I like the bit about Europeans not getting wrecked for something, which is usually the case. Funky, your hand is raised. Give us a quick take here before we keep it moving.
Just a real quick note, this I think happened yesterday or 2 days ago, but just TVL on hydration has now surged past 300 million. So it just keeps coming.
Nice. Very juicy
Bro.
rewards there all the time. Brad?
Yeah, I did a post on that shit yesterday because, like, obviously, Legendary did some breakdowns of like BTC and ETH being added to it, and so I was like, okay, I wanted to look at it because, like, I have this. I'm being blackpilled right now, and I'm like, fuck, Bitcoin is going to take over the world, even though I hate it as a technology. So I'm like, okay, I need to understand this shit, and it's going to be the money in all of these smart contract platforms because it's the thing that's valuable. And if Wall Street and everyone else is accumulating it, like, let's just start denominating shit in Bitcoin because whatever, we'll use it. Bitcoin doesn't need to do anything. Anyways, whatever. So Bitcoin and ETH were added to hydration. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to go look at this shit and see which one is actually being used as money. And then I looked at it yesterday and no one's fucking touching Bitcoin. And Ethereum is eating up 72% of its TVL in 24-hour volume. So, like, either someone's farming the shit out of this platform or which is the case. It always is. It's always the case. Someone's probably farming the shit out of this thing. Or ETH is showing to be the better money.
Or both.
Yeah, maybe
Both,
a
right?
little bit of both.
So people are farming a little bit. There's juicy rewards. And it seems to be the case that for whatever reason, people are happy to deposit, fill up the caps with ETH, whereas maybe people are holding Bitcoin and like, oh, don't really want to do anything with it, keep it as gold locked up in your vault. I think it could be both actually there.
Yeah. And the fact that it's relative to the actual native tokens, right? So it's like it was Ethereum, which is like doing 72% of its TVL in volume in a day, and then Stables was down 10%, and then the closest one was DOT was at 10%. So it's like it's staggering how far and away the Ethereum, the GETH or whatever, the Giga ETH was ahead of everything else.
Yeah, we noticed that the cap filled up pretty speedily. Good stuff. We'll keep reporting back in with our partners at Polkadot. Next week will be the next one. Let's get into, we are running late today because of our conversation on the stocks and various other things. Got two main things I think we'll get to. One, all-time highs. Two, pump fun. What are we doing about the pre-sale tomorrow? How are we playing it? How are we thinking about it? And then we will hopefully get to touch on the Coinbase partnership with Perplexity quickly towards the end. Ledge, give us the breakdown. I don't know what you want to say here. Bitcoin is at an all-time high, but give us the usual roundup of factors and things that you're looking at. Nice data points.
Yeah, let's do it a bit different and start with this White House post that says Panican's hardest hit. If you don't know,
they're using our memes.
Yes,
what is going on?
If you don't know what a Panican is, and then I'm going to get into the meme. According to Trump, a Panican is, and I'm quoting, a new party based on weak and stupid people who are panicking because of his implementation of tariffs. And the meme that we can see is the guy in front of the computer, green light all over his room, curtains open, and charts moving up in the window, and he's proceeding to close the curtains.
Holy shit.
That's funny.
Donald J. Trump in a post on Truth Social, it did say everything there is to say on the market. Tech stocks, industrial stocks, NASDAQ hit all-time high, record highs. Crypto is, quote-unquote, through the roof. NVIDIA is up 47% since Trump tariffs. USA is taking in hundreds of billions of dollars in tariffs. The country is now back. And Fed should rapidly lower rate to reflect this strength.
Brother, what is going on with my country?
This is just incredible theater.
It's being run by, like, I don't know, man.
It's just right. The content strategy is president tweet this stuff with a bunch of capitals, and then the White House account, what you do is you get a good meme and then you quote tweet it and then you put that out there. Like,
right.
It's great. If you scroll through the feed, like, you'll see what is this?
Trump Superman.
Trust justice, the American ways. and then you'll see the videos and you'll see this.
They're
and then
having
you'll-
fun with it, to be fair. They are
and
having fun with it.
They're doing it pretty well, to be honest. And it gets way more engagement than the other things. I mean, the other things get like what 170K, 300K views, and then this meme had 5.4 million views.
Banger.
Good
Banger.
post.
Indeed. What else do we need to know, Ledge, with this kind of price action? Is there anything else you're looking at, finding interesting
Yes.
on this recent move?
Absolutely. We covered the ETF inflows. Just to recap on that, BTC $1.18 billion, ETH 400 mil yesterday. If you look at the 24-hour liquidation heat map, that is all red, which in this case is a good thing because it means shorts have been liquidated. That is 700 mil in BTC shorts and 260 mil in ETH shorts and 40 mil in hyperliquid shorts have been liquidated over the last 24 hours. And
get out of here, bears.
The other thing that I wanted to bring up is actually two takes. One by CZ, who said, if you missed the previous tips, there will be tips in the future too. And we are still in one now. There are no limits to mathematical numbers of fiat printing, only limited number of Bitcoins. And the farmer is similarly excellent trader, is similarly bullish, saying, job's not finished. This is actually where it all begins. I can already hear you clowns and yap peddlers hedging your tweets. Nah, fuck you. I said higher. Very much tend to agree with that. I'm pretty bullish as well. And I think if there's no showstopper coming from the president's market, that we'll see this run continue for a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm of the same opinion. Like, I saw an interesting tweet from someone else the other day as well, where what was it say? It said something like, each month, if you go month to month at the moment, the administration gives you a dip. Like something is happening each month.
We said it'll be a volatile Trump presidency, right? Like this is what we said.
But like, if you think about it, even, you know, there was, tariffs was the big one that really, really took everything. But even beyond that, then it was like, right, Elon and Trump are fighting. And the market really, I think, moved down on that. Maybe it was kind of structurally weak anyway at that point. I don't know 100%. But like, it really felt like the market moved down on that. And then all you had to do was buy it. And so like, look, okay, I know we're super green now, and I think everyone is generally bullish as well. They're going to do something or say something at some point, and people are going to get a bit spooked, and it's going to go down a few percent and probably give you a better entry than, well, I don't know if it'll be a better entry now, because that might not happen in the next 7 days, and people might just go turbo bullish now. So I wouldn't necessarily be an advocate of waiting for that, but I would be an advocate of, if anything happens, just buy it and then wait 7 days or 10 days or 14 days or something like that. Because I think that's the general direction of travel. Thanks for that summary, Ledge. Any final thoughts, Brad? Did you want to come in there with anything else?
Just that people in the comments are saying, welcome to the UK, like mocking my, like, what's going on with my country stuff. And they're like, well, yeah, this is how the UK is run. I'm like, upon reflection, I don't know that I hate it, because I think it does, like, it's always been a joke to all of us. Like, at least as an American, the American sentiment for the government is like, this stuff's all bullshit. It's all a joke. It's all run by clowns, like, regardless of what's happening. And that, like, now you're actually seeing like a lot of like this is the same reason I came into crypto versus my Web2 job. Like, I was in these C-suite meetings and everyone's acting, they got their suit, they got their fucking, oh, hello, sir. What's going on? What I have. But then you're like, you realize they're all fucking humans, and all these humans do the same shit. And the president likes memes. People, like, everyone fucking likes memes and does this stuff. And there's no reason not to talk to us like normal humans, right? You don't have to do this like presentation of like, you're infallible, you're perfect, like there's nothing wrong, whatever stuff. So I don't know, seeing the roughness of it is kind of endearing. Unfortunately, it just as long as you're not like doing things that are extremely detrimental, which I know are also being done, as I have a partner who is in the healthcare industry and is fearing basically all the decisions that are being made with public funding on that side. But
yeah, I agree, kind of across the board, to be honest. Definitely taking advantage of it, like a social moment in society, in the style of communication, but also, yeah, I mean, for everyone else who's not exposed to our industry and having to deal with some of the ramifications of all of these policies, like, damn, it's pretty it's pretty challenging to see how other people will be coping with some of the consequences of all of this stuff, which we are able to laugh about sometimes because we're like, we're exposed in different ways. I think we've done a good job of navigating.
Pumps our bags. So like, yeah, whatever, sir, go for it.
Yeah, difficult in that respect. But look, we've running out of time already. We definitely need to do a few minutes on this pump stuff because I think everyone will be super interested in that. So let's just get to that straight away. The news today was that Pump Fund has acquired Kolscan, a Solana-based wallet tracker that monitors top on-chain traders. The move marks the popular meme coin generator's first acquisition and comes days ahead of the platform's much-anticipated ICO. The token itself ran up like a crazy amount. It was only a few 100,000, I think, in FDV, went up to 20 mil. It's subsequently come down to 4 mil. That's still up 1,600% or something in the last 24 hours. So if anyone was holding that, it's a colossal win. Although that's probably not the thing we're most interested in now. Find that pumped and is dumped a little bit, and that's kind of neither here nor there. The question that I think people are considering now is the Pump Fund sale tomorrow, and what type of how people are thinking about it. Like what are we thinking about it? So I just want to remind people the details, because I think the details are super important, and sometimes people don't pay attention to the details because they don't read or they don't pay attention. Because I found myself researching this and realized I didn't actually know the details this morning, and it was helpful for me to make the decision that I took. So the Pump Fund token, the sale will go live tomorrow. It will be at on Saturday, July the 12th. And so the details for that will be, we know that they're trying to raise 600 mil at a 4 bill valuation. But the specific details, where are the days? I was looking at this. Okay. Timing, I think, is super important. When you're making a trade, you want to know the times. You don't want to enter along today on the Hyperliquid market and not know when the token is going to go live. And this is important because it's actually kind of variable in some sense, because all right, I'll just tell you the details. So at 2 p.m. on 2 p.m. UTC, Saturday, July the 12th. Oh gosh, you got to really scroll down to find this stuff. Right, 2 p.m. UTC, Tuesday, July the 15th. What? Okay, sorry. I've got it. So the token sale goes live at 2 p.m. UTC on Saturday, July the 12th. So that is tomorrow. The token sale will conclude either when all of the tokens are sold, so that 600 mil trying to being raised. So if that gets filled up straight away, there and then, that means the token sale is concluded, obviously. Or if it doesn't do that because they can't fill up the demand, it will continue until 2 p.m. UTC on Tuesday, July the 15th. So you've got that like Saturday, Sunday, Monday, 3 to 4 days of like scope, whichever comes first. So shortly after the public sale ends, so whether that's Tuesday if it doesn't fill up, or if it fills up straight away on Saturday, shortly after the public sale ends, token sale participants will receive their token. So if it fills out completely, if your bet is that this is going to go, everyone's going to buy it, it's going to be super hot, people are going to buy it, that means that the public sale will end tomorrow at whenever it ends after 2 p.m. UTC. You will receive your tokens, but they will be non-transferable. So in no circumstance will you be trading them tomorrow. In no circumstance will you be trading them this weekend either, because they only become transferable 48 to 72 hours after the token sale ends. That's when they become transferable. So even if it sells out tomorrow, you're still waiting until Monday or Tuesday before you can transfer them. And if it doesn't sell out, depending on when it does sell out, you still got to add those 2-3 days, which is obviously super important, because you want to be doing the maths here and running probabilities. And if the market's super hot right now and you think it's going to sell out, then you can kind of figure out like, okay, well, yeah, I kind of want to bet now because I think it's going to be sooner rather than later. Whereas you might adjust your position if you think it's going to be longer. So Those are the core details I think are important. Questions for you guys, and then I'll share my thoughts. What are you doing here? Ledge first, and then Bread.
I mean, can we say how lucky they got with the timing of that, with BTC hitting all-time highs, everything running? Like, that is insane. Imagine this happens in a down period where ETH just crashed 20% on the day before, Sol is down 15. So this is like really, really lucky timing. I don't want to say it's good timing because nobody can time the market like that, but that increases my appetite to participate in the sale even more.
One other detail that I think we should throw in, actually, because it's not just a decision of whether you want to participate in the sale on tomorrow. It's also a question of do you want to participate in the pre-market? And just to double check, if one of you, because I can't do it on this computer, just check where it's trading at. I think it's at 5.3 or 5.4 bill. I just wanted to check that, where you can pre-trade it on Hyperliquid. And on a Hyperliquid, the scenario is that you can obviously use leverage, but it's capped at 3x. It's capped at 3x. It's kind of been between
5.4 bill.
Yeah, I think when it came out, it went as high as 6. Then it came down to just beneath 5. Now it's kind of in between at 5.4. Ledge, which way are you leaning, or both?
What do you mean, which way I'm leaning? If I buy on Hype or if I participate in the sale? Sale.
You go sell.
Yeah.
Brad, what are you thinking? You just want to lose some money on perps, don't you?
I think so. Yeah. And I'm trying to think of like what that looks like over the weekend, because the stuff is locked, right? So it's like if it sells out instantly, but we can't do anything, it's going to pump aftermarket, right? If it doesn't sell out instantly, it might dip aftermarket, right? So like that is because like it's going to trade.
That's the key question you need to ask yourself, right? Basically,
I basically want to be able.
It's going to sell 600.
Yes, and I want to be.
The answer to that question is yes.
I do. So I think like basically at the time of the pre-sale, you long.
Okay.
I like that. That's smart. I like that.
That's crashes, especially over the weekend. If it crashes into that cap, it's going to keep pumping.
Your bet on the long is it's going to sell out instantly. 600 mil is not a lot of. It's a lot of money, but it's not an incredible amount of money that can't get filled. Plasma did show how quick 500 mil can go. If this has similar appetite and would sell in a couple minutes, that should pump the hype thingy to 6 bill, 7 bill, whatever.
It shows aftermarket demand, right? Like that. That's what's that's what it shows. So you could lever up. I can get 3x exposure right there. I think that's probably the play I'm going to do.
This is a good thinking. I'm going to do that as well and participate in the sale.
Stole my thinking, Brad. That's exactly what I thought. So in the end, the question that you're asking, I agree, is the sale going to sell out ASAP? If it does, we move aggressively higher from the point it is now. That's why I put on a small 3x leverage bet this morning, because I worked through the exact same thinking which you basically just articulated. And then obviously if you're wrong and it goes down. But the downside is, I don't know if you'd get completely liquidated, because I don't know if it's going to go, and because these are the kind of probabilities you want to work through, right? What's the probability it goes beneath so they're raising at 4. Yeah, I guess you are in danger if it's
3x leverage. So like as long as you like don't go crazy. Yeah. Pretty easy to cap the downside on that.
Yeah. It feels like a nice bet to put on, but obviously not financial advice. We don't know. This is moving further down the risk curve, I think, but I think it's helpful to articulate why we're kind of coming to the conclusions we're coming to, and then if we're wrong, we're wrong. That's just how it goes sometimes, right? Ledge, any final thoughts there?
Yes, Overarch in the comments saying I would short all pump fund tokens with significant market caps. We said it on the show. I said it that I think this sale is gonna draw liquidity from existing memes, so that is also potentially an interesting bet that you can put on if you wanted to. I think it's maybe a bit of a dangerous one, because if ETH and Sol and everything keeps running, then that effect will be higher than liquidity flowing out of memes. But it's still an interesting thought.
Very interesting. Want to bring Carpenter into this conversation. Carpenter's great friend of the show, big streamer, and also streaming on Pump Fun. So curious to hear his thoughts on what will happen, either, well, predominantly about the sale and how you're kind of interested in that and exposed to it, and maybe also just a take on what it's been like streaming on Pump Fun. Carpenter, welcome to the stage, my man.
While we wait for him, we're talking about pump
you.
stuff. No, I can't either.
Carpenter, it's not working, my man. We're going to have to try another time. I think you're trying to do it from desktop. You're going to have to do mobile at some time, mate. We'll try again another time, but we definitely want your take on this pump stuff. Maybe on Monday then, if it's not working at the moment. Brad, come back in.
Called it Wednesday. Ray, the DEX, because I was looking at the fees and I was like, okay, we're talking about all these fees. I want to see like the 30-day fees of Pump relative to Ethereum, right? 350 billion versus a 4 billion. And yeah, Pump is crushing it. Winning everyone, right? It's not a one-to-one thing because it's technical properties, all that shit. So like there's that. And then I also checked in on my Ray call because I said if Bonk is succeeding, it means Ray dominance as a DEX is also increasing, which is where they derive a lot of their fees. Ray has consistently had market share of DEX swaps. Tokens pumped 20% last day. So it's still, you know, a 4x from all-time highs prior to Pump Swap coming live. So I have repositioned a little bit into Ray as I called out.
Interesting. Yeah, I like that. You gave some great data on that the other day. Final take here before we close out, because I think we'll skip the final headline. People can read about that if they want on Coinbase and Perplexity. An interesting thing I've noticed, and I'll be curious what you think. I don't know if people can raise the type of money that people might debate, like, oh, is this a way to get the public involved and whatever. I don't think this is a sincere way to get the public involved when you're trying to raise 600 million. Like maybe there's some appetite for that from like retail. This is basically an alternative way to get VCs humongous allocations and get them super liquid super fast, because the last year or two has been diabolical for a number of VCs who get locked in these tokens that are down only and are probably really, really down. Like of course, there have been some great winners from the last cycle, but I would bet a lot that you simply cannot raise at certain valuations in the same way anymore unless you're like I mean, maybe Pump can, to be fair. Like Pump is an excellent product, is one of the best. So I'm going to like walk it back slightly because I'm kind of just talking out loud. But I guess my point is this is far better as if you were if you had significant funds right now, what would you rather do? Would you rather take a huge, humongous chunk of them and put it into Pump and be liquid in 3 days' time, or lock it up for 3 years and bet on a new ecosystem that you don't know if it makes any money or not? Like, what would you rather? Like, it's both kind of private markets, because, well, I guess this is being classed as a public sale, but it's still a pre-sale of sorts. And it's just the size means that much bigger players can enter. So any take on that take? Is that off?
I think it's correct.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll take it.
I mean, we've reiterated a few times, and yeah, sorry, I was a little distracted, but it is largely the case. We're talking about wanting more exposure to things that have actual value accrual to the underlying, which is why, like, you know, we've covered narrative plays, which is Ethereum, and then just size bets into things that can actually get like value accrual from the underlying activity of the thing that it's generating, which is what you're referring to there. Is like, yeah, you want the other one, right? You want the thing that's actually accruing legitimate value
and liquid,
like directly, and is liquid.
3 days. So liquidity is very, very important. Right, there we go, guys. That was fun. Again. Great conversation to close the week. Great price action to close the week. It's been great to kind of navigate this week as always, to be honest. But it's always a bit more fun when the price is going up and to the right. Thank you to my co-hosts, as always, Legendary and Bread. Thank you to those in the YouTube comments and the Twitter comments, keeping us on our toes. Thanks so much for joining us, whether you're on X or on YouTube, or if you're catching us on Spotify or Apple, where you can do as well. We're live every single day, Monday to Friday, 7 a.m. Eastern time for 1 hour. We'll be back again on Monday, same time, same place. Have a wonderful weekend. Take care. We'll see you then. Bye-bye.